It's there! Holy moly, this one's gonna go big!
Hello and welcome back to the channel, and just a short one for you today, but I do want to share with you one of the dirtiest tricks I have ever seen a fruit machine pull. It's not my footage, it was posted to the Jackpotty UK Facebook group, which I am a member of. I will be showing you the clip and I'll be giving full credit to the people who posted the clip and who commented on it, but it is a real alien out in the wild doing something that I have never ever seen before. Now, the thing with Alien is there has been quite a bit of talk over the years about a really dirty 0.5 chip. If you don't know the story of Alien, you're not familiar with it, I would recommend that you watch the video that's just playing here. I will link to it in the description of this video. But basically, Alien, and there was at least one clone, I think it was Leprechaun's Gold, I don't know if there was another one, but this was a machine that started off on a £35 jackpot, got an upgrade to a £70 jackpot, and like a lot of Barcrest on the £70 upgrade, they fucked it up. It's not unique to Alien, but Alien is one of the most notorious in how Barcrest just never got it right. They chipped this thing multiple times and it was still doable time and time again, but there has been sort of speak of this mysterious 0.5 chip. Some people sort of say there's no such thing as a 0.5 chip. Some people say it was a sort of hack knockoff chip that some kind of supplier or something like that did for themselves. And other people say, yes, there was a 0.5 chip. It was just very rare, but it was an official Barcrest chip. But the point around this sort of mystical 0.5 chip is that it did really, really dirty things to stop you trapping it, because that was the thing on the Alien, and that was the thing that Barcrest never seemed to be able to fix. Players kept working it out, so they'd work out a way to trap it, Barcrest would chip it, players would work out another way to trap it, Barcrest would chip it again, and so on. And even on the 0.4 chip, so Barcrest had like 3 attempts at least at rechipping the thing by then, and they still couldn't prevent players working out a way to trap it. But there was always this talk of a 0.5 chip out there that could do some really scummy things to stop it from being trapped, to try and protect itself from being trapped. And that is some of the footage that I'm going to show you now. Like I say, if you're not familiar with it, have a look at that video there, because it is a really deep dive into Alien. It shows you how to do it, and it talks about some of the history of the machine as well. But let's get on to the footage itself. As you can see here, this is not in the emulator, this is a real Alien being played out in the wild. And just have a look at what this thing does. Now, I'll just give you the setup here. This guy has basically got everything that you need to get it trapped. If you know what it is on Alien, you've got to get all your things set up on the bonus, you've got to get on a certain point on the board, and so on and so forth. Basically, this guy has got it in the bag. He has got this thing where it can't get out of giving him a jackpot unless it pulls some shit like this. So watch this here. He's going for a bonus gamble. It's given him a bonus. It's given him a hint. And watch the hint. Did you see that? Did you see? Let's just go back. Hint. Next number equals 0. I had to do a double take as well. You can see there. So basically it's saying, I am going to fuck you on the next gamble. And I'm going to... It's kind of like it knows it's trapped, and the only thing it can do now is pull absurd shit like that and say next number equals 0. And there were some comments left on this as well. So let's have a look at the comments that were left. Just right at the top there. How was this ever allowed in the programming? Good old P5 Alien. And you can see, I'll just go through the comments here. The filth, never seen that. Guy there saying, there was one tucked away in Colchester that done it, and straight away I just said that's bent, lol. Check out this homemade bent program. Next number will be 0. But you can see here where the chat's happening, and this mirrors. This is not just the first time that this conversation has been had. I've seen this conversation had many times over the years on Facebook and on forums as well. Like I say about this mystical 0.5 chip. Being said here that it's an official program by Barcrest SG, that's Scientific Games. Was it actually? Did not know these could do that. Yes, last program they made for these and Leprechaun's Gold. Leprechaun's Gold, of course, is being the straight clone of it. And there is some debate here, not on the list of Barcrest programs, I believe. No way Crest would do that. But this guy here is saying, yes, I took 0.5 latest from official means and can confirm Leprechaun's Gold does this. I still have one. Tried for my life to get it earlier, but no one has the files stored. God, these would be great to have a go at in the emulator. If we could actually get these 0.5 ROMs in the emulator and see because apparently it has more than one way that it can completely fuck you over. But anyway, let's just go down the comments here. Well, that's totally cuntish of SG then. P5 from SG was different as it would just give hints when with 3 steps, not a hint for 0. Saying here again, yes, genuine P5 program. As soon as you had it royal fucked, it had this as a backup way out. And there is some talk about the other ways it can do you here, which is, see, the Leps Gold I used to play would just hint even with the steps, could get it but hardly any profit, or would random fairy. That's when you're doing the bonus gamble thing. It's the fairy on Leps Gold and the alien on alien when you're doing the bonus gamble. It can fuck you off. You're supposed to get it into a state where it can't give you a fairy or an alien. There has been talk over the years that this 0.5 chip would just throw in an alien or a fairy, which messes up the setup. But he's saying here, never seen either do a hint naught when setting up. It would let you have it, but was just hard to set up and would love to land hint when you run out of free moves where you can spin bonus. But saying it again here, yeah, 0.5 official does the random fairy and hint boards. Most of the time you already have extra life on the fairy board, so bin it off. Also, a hint board has to be binned off. And just the last few comments here, yeah, these do that a lot. Hint for fun on 3 steps and random alien for a laugh. But you get it to the point that it's got no way out. It loves hint 0. Thought I'd post as not many people have seen it and thought I was nuts when I mentioned it. So this guy has clearly been saying over the years, you know what, you can actually get these things into a state where they will give you a hint 0 and hadn't been believed. So he's actually got one of these out in the wild on a 0.5 chip. Well, it kind of verifies the existence of the thing, because some people have never seen these, and I've seen people suggest that 0.4 was as far as it got. So what we've got here is proof that this incredibly awful 0.5 chip did get out there, albeit potentially in limited numbers, and you can get into a state with, on top of all the other random stuff it can do to dick you off, it can even give the next number will be 0. And as you can see, there's a comment here being left, which is absolutely true, that these Barcrest started putting, I guess their code was so bad that what they started doing was putting like a watchdog thing in, whereby the machines would start alarming if they got far behind enough percentage. It was just a hard check in the code. How much money have I paid out versus how much money have I taken? And if the drift got too far, the machine would just go into a horrible alarm state as a last gasp of a way of protecting itself, because they couldn't actually get the code to protect itself. And a final comment there, thought I put this up as proof it does it. Let's face it, we've all heard some bullshit over the years with fruits. And yes, that is absolutely true. So, you know, there are many flowery stories out there. So what this guy wanted to demonstrate with actual footage of it happening on a real machine, that this thing that he has been talking about, that aliens can get to a state where they will actually tell you that the next number is a number that doesn't exist. Next number will be 0, which of course on a 1 to 12 high-low reel does not exist. I still swear to this day, and obviously I've got no footage of it and no proof. I remember playing a Caesar's Palace. It was a late chip, skanky Caesar's Palace in an arcade in Douglas many, many years ago, probably back in about 2003, 2004, just before the place closed down. I swear I went lower than a 12 and it just spun me into another 12. Only ever saw it the once, and I've kind of, I'm misremembering, but I swear I had a 12. Thought, yeah, got the jackpot lower, and it span in another 12 and killed me. So they can do some weird shit. And there we are. That is kind of, well, I say kind of, it is proof that there is a chip out there, a really, really horrible chip for Alien that can do stuff as preposterous as that, way beyond what the chip that we've got here in the emulator can do, and that is the one that I demonstrated the method with. That does kind of protect itself to an extent. A lot of the earlier traps that were on this have been chipped out. The machine will not let you get it with some of the older methods, but there is still one in there which I do show you in that video. But we've got now proof that that 0.5 chip is out there. It did get out into the wild, and it is completely scummy. I would be fascinated to get that chip running in the emulator and have a play around with it and see what kind of nonsense it could come up with, but at least we have seen the proof there, and that certainly settles the argument as to whether or not it's out there. And it seems to me to be reasonably well established that this was actually an official chip that was pushed out by Barcrest as a final last gasp to protect these machines from being ripped all the time, which they were. These things were fought over by players. Here's the clone, Leprechaun's Gold, Alien as well. These were camped out big time. They were on their arses constantly, and there would be nothing left. An Alien or a Lep's Gold that players were on would be an appallingly ruthless proposition for anyone who did not know the method. And it looks there as if Barcrest, just as a final desperate attempt to stop these things from getting fucked all the time, they put out a chip that, amongst other things, can tell you that the next number will be 0. Thank you very much for watching. Do hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll catch up with you next time. But for now it is goodbye.